There are 8 brutal truths about intelligence that most people will never accept because they shatter comfortable illusions. But those who embrace these ruthless lessons become dangerously smart, the kind of smart that sees through every deception, predicts every outcome, and controls every situation without anyone realizing it. Today, I'm going to share these forbidden insights that separate the truly intelligent from those who just think they are. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "Confine yourself to the present." But what he didn't write was how to use that present moment awareness to become intellectually untouchable. The ancient Stoics and Zen masters weren't just philosophers, they were strategic geniuses who understood that true intelligence isn't about knowing more facts, it's about seeing reality with surgical precision while others stumble through illusions. If you're ready to develop the kind of intelligence that makes people wonder how you always seem to know what's coming next, smash that subscribe button. You're about to learn why most people's thinking is fatally flawed, and how to exploit that advantage. Lesson 1: Most people are predictably irrational. The first ruthless lesson is this: human behavior follows patterns so predictable that once you learn to spot them, people become like open books written in a language only you can read. This comes from the Stoic understanding that most people are slaves to their emotions and cognitive biases. They make the same mistakes in the same situations, triggered by the same stimuli, following the same mental shortcuts that lead to the same predictable outcomes. The average person believes they're making rational decisions, but behavioral psychology shows us they're actually running unconscious programs. They buy when they should sell, trust when they should verify, react when they should respond, and follow when they should lead. Here's where this gets ruthless. Once you understand these patterns, you can predict what someone will do before they know it themselves. You can position yourself 3 moves ahead while they're still figuring out the game being played. The truly intelligent don't try to change these patterns, they learn to read them like weather signs and adjust their strategy accordingly. Master this, and you'll never be surprised by human behavior again. While others are shocked by betrayals, disappointed by predictable failures, and blindsided by obvious outcomes, you'll be calmly preparing for the next phase. Lesson 2: Your emotions are intelligence killers. The second lesson is brutal but liberating. Every moment you spend in emotional reaction is a moment your intelligence is offline. This isn't about becoming emotionless, it's about understanding that emotions are information, not instructions. The Zen masters called this a choiceless awareness, observing your emotional responses without being hijacked by them. Here's the ruthless truth: while you're angry, hurt, excited, or anxious, your analytical mind is impaired. You miss crucial details, make poor decisions, and become vulnerable to manipulation. Your enemies know this, that's why they try to trigger your emotions before making their move. The dangerously smart have learned to create space between stimulus and response. They feel the emotion, extract the information it contains, then let it pass without allowing it to cloud their judgment. This gives you an almost supernatural advantage. While others are reacting emotionally to situations, you're calculating the optimal response. While they're defending their ego, you're securing your position. While they're being played by their own feelings, you're playing the game several levels deeper. Advanced practitioners can even use others' emotional reactions as strategic information, reading their triggers, understanding their weaknesses, and positioning themselves accordingly. Lesson 3: Silence is your secret weapon. The third lesson reveals why the most dangerous people are often the quietest. Information asymmetry is power, and silence is how you maintain it. Most people have an unconscious need to fill silence with words. They reveal their strategies, expose their insecurities, and telegraph their next moves because they're uncomfortable with the void. But the ruthlessly intelligent understand that silence creates psychological pressure that makes others reveal themselves. This comes from both Zen teachings about the power of emptiness and Stoic principles about controlling what you can control, and you can always control your mouth. Here's how this makes you dangerous. While others are broadcasting their thoughts, plans, and weaknesses, you're gathering intelligence. While they're seeking validation through verbal expression, you're building a comprehensive understanding of who they really are and what they really want. The strategic applications are endless. In negotiations, silence makes others fill the void by lowering their own price. In conflicts, silence makes enemies reveal more than they intended. In relationships, silence allows you to observe authentic behavior rather than performance. Master conversationalists know that the person asking questions controls the conversation, but the truly dangerous know that the person staying silent controls everything. Lesson 4: Everyone has an agenda. The fourth ruthless lesson destroys naive trust forever. Every person you encounter has an agenda, and pretending otherwise makes you a target. This doesn't make you cynical, it makes you realistic. The Stoics understood that people act in their perceived self-interest, and the wise person factors this into every interaction. Here's the brutal truth: even people who claim to be helping you are getting something in return: validation, social status, future favors, reduced guilt, or simply the good feeling that comes from being helpful. Understanding this doesn't make their help worthless, but it makes you smarter about the true dynamics at play. The dangerously intelligent become expert at reading between the lines. They listen to what people say, but more importantly, they analyze what people get from saying it. They look for the hidden exchange in every interaction. This skill becomes devastatingly powerful because most people hide their agendas even from themselves. They genuinely believe they're being altruistic while unconsciously pursuing their own interests. When you can see the agenda they can't see themselves, you hold tremendous strategic advantage. You start positioning yourself as the solution to their hidden needs rather than just responding to their stated requests. Lesson 5: Timing is everything. The fifth lesson separates the clever from the truly dangerous. Intelligence without timing is just academic knowledge, but intelligence with perfect timing is unstoppable force. The ancient strategist Sun Tzu wrote, "He who knows when to fight and when not to fight will be victorious." But this goes deeper than conflict. It's about understanding the rhythms of opportunity, influence, and power. Here's where most intelligent people fail: they have the right insights at the wrong moments. They speak truth when people aren't ready to hear it, offer solutions before people recognize the problem, or make moves when the conditions aren't optimal. The ruthlessly intelligent study timing like scientists. They observe cycles, emotional cycles, business cycles, social cycles, personal cycles. They recognize that the same action at different times produces completely different results. This makes them appear almost prophetic. They seem to know exactly when to speak and when to stay silent, when to act and when to wait, when to push and when to pull back. But it's not prophecy, it's pattern recognition applied to temporal dynamics. Master timing, and you can say less but achieve more, work less but accomplish more, risk less but gain more. Your intelligence becomes a precision instrument rather than a blunt tool. Lesson 6: Weakness is information. The sixth lesson is perhaps the most ruthless. Other people's weaknesses aren't character flaws to ignore, they're strategic information to file away for when you need it. This sounds cold, but it's how power actually operates in the real world. The Stoics taught that everything is information, and information is power. Ignoring available intelligence doesn't make you noble, it makes you naive. Here's the brutal reality: everyone has vulnerabilities, fears, insecurities, blind spots, addictions, emotional triggers, and pressure points. The dangerously intelligent catalog these not to exploit them maliciously, but to understand the complete picture of who they're dealing with. This understanding gives you multiple advantages. You know how to communicate with people in ways that resonate with their deep concerns. You can predict how they'll react under pressure. You understand what motivates them beyond their public statements. More importantly, you learn to protect your own weaknesses while others carelessly expose theirs. You develop strategic empathy, understanding vulnerability without becoming vulnerable yourself. The advanced application is positioning yourself as the solution to people's hidden weaknesses. You become indispensable not by being perfect, but by being perfectly positioned to address what they most need addressed. Lesson 7: Reputation is reality. The seventh lesson destroys the myth of authentic self-expression. Your reputation isn't just how people see you, it's the reality you have to operate within, so you better control it strategically. Most people think reputation management is superficial or manipulative. But the ruthlessly intelligent understand that reputation is simply another form of strategic positioning. It's not about being fake, it's about being intentional about which aspects of your authentic self you emphasize. Here's the harsh truth: fair or not, people's perception of you determines their behavior toward you. Their behavior toward you determines your opportunities, your obstacles, and your options. Therefore, managing perception is managing reality. The dangerously smart become expert at reputation architecture. They understand that reputation is built through consistent patterns, not individual actions. They know that people remember impressions more than facts, stories more than statistics, and emotions more than logic. This gives them tremendous leverage. While others stumble through random self-expression, hoping people will understand their true worth, the intelligent craft their image with the precision of a master artist. They control the narrative about who they are before others get to write that story for them. They position themselves exactly where they want to be in other people's mental maps of power, competence, and value. Lesson 8: Knowledge without action is worthless. The eighth and final lesson is the most ruthless of all the intelligence in the world means nothing if you don't have the will to act on it decisively. This is where most intelligent people fail catastrophically. They analyze endlessly, understand perfectly, and then hesitate when the moment for action arrives. They become intellectual spectators in their own lives. The Stoics had a term for this: paralysis by analysis. The Zen masters warned against meditation sickness, getting so caught up in understanding that you forget to live. Here's the brutal truth: the world belongs to those who act intelligently, not those who think intelligently. Every moment you spend preparing to act is a moment someone else is acting and taking the position you wanted. The dangerously smart have learned to act on incomplete information, adjust course based on results, and iterate rapidly rather than waiting for perfect understanding. They know that real intelligence is demonstrated through results, not insights. This creates a multiplicative effect. Their actions generate new information, which improves their understanding, which improves their next actions. They're learning by doing while others are stuck in learning by thinking. Master this final lesson, and you become truly dangerous, not just smart, but smart in motion, intelligence with momentum, understanding coupled with unstoppable execution. These 8 ruthless lessons aren't just intellectual concepts, they're the operating system of power in the real world. They separate those who understand the game from those who are played by it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life, it is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." But he was talking to himself, someone who had already mastered these principles and held the most powerful position in the world. The ruthless truth is that intelligence without strategic application is just sophisticated entertainment. But intelligence applied ruthlessly, ethically, and strategically becomes the foundation of unstoppable personal power. These lessons make you dangerously smart because they shatter the comfortable illusions that keep most people predictable, controllable, and limited. When you see reality clearly, you can navigate it masterfully. Remember, the goal isn't to become cold or manipulative. The goal is to become so intelligently aware that you operate from a position of strength, clarity, and strategic advantage in everything you do. If these ruthless lessons resonated with your hunger for real intelligence, smash that like button and subscribe for more content that cuts through comfortable lies to reveal uncomfortable truths. Here's your challenge: pick one of these 8 lessons and apply it ruthlessly for the next 7 days. Don't just think about it, live it. Test it. See how it changes your results and your position in the situations you face. Drop a comment below, but here's the twist: don't tell us which lesson you're applying. Just report back on how your strategic position improved. Let's see who's really ready to implement this intelligence instead of just consuming it. And remember, knowledge without action is just entertainment. But knowledge with ruthless application becomes power. Until next time, think strategically, act decisively, and become dangerously smart.